And welcome back to another Dwarf Fortress super tutorial. Can't even remember the own name of my own video series, but that is old news now. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Can't really remember. Okay, what I was doing before. I think I was talking about stockpiles. Okay. So we have a furniture stockpile, a wood stockpile, and a refuse stockpile. Okay, and you can view stockpiles by pressing Q for query and then hovering your cursor near the stockpile. Also is used to view workshops. I think I discussed this last time. Okay, but having stockpiles above ground is not great because things like monkeys and capybaras can come and steal your stuff, destroy furniture, drink your booze, whatever. So it's not good to have it above ground. They'll be less likely to try and take it if it's below ground in the storeroom. So that's what I'm going to create next. So I'm going to go down 2 Z levels, and I'm going to start designating. And I'm going to designate some storehouse. First I'm going to designate a hallway. Actually, first I'm going to mine out this little area right here. I'm going to designate a large vertical hallway. And it's good to make a... Hold on. How far is this? Yeah. And it's good to make your storehouse rooms in dirt because it doesn't take very long to mine. So my dwarves will begin to dig out this little vertical hallway right here. It's not really vertical, it's just vertical relative to the orientation of my screen. It's actually flat. This is all flat because we're looking at it top down. And it doesn't take them very long at all to finish that. Oh, and look, that guy has become a miner. That just means he's now a better miner than he is an armor smith, I guess. Okay, and now I'm going to create some large rooms by pressing shift and moving my cursor around, or holding shift. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and now I need to make some little doorways so my miners can access it, and I'll make those right here. And I'm just making that by tapping enter twice. Okay. And they'll get started on that, and for a larger area it'll take a little bit longer to complete. So let's go up to the surface and see what is that? Ravens. See, ravens are trouble. They'll try to steal things, I'm sure. Luckily my dwarves and my war dogs are all around the wagon, which has all my supplies in it. So they probably won't bother me. Okay. What else can we do? Okay, let's make some essential furniture we're gonna need. We're gonna need some buckets, and we can make all this stuff at the Carpenter Dwarf's workshop. So press A, E for bucket. Let's make 3 buckets, and we're gonna need some barrels eventually for wine and stuff, especially once we start distilling. I mean, we'll have empty barrels as our dwarves drink the barrels, but you know they don't often drink them in order, so it's good just to have a surplus of barrels. So let's make 3 barrels, and we need some bins. And bins are used to store non-wet goods. So pretty much bins are super important for storage. It allows you to store multiple things in one square. See, like on the wood stockpile, each block of wood or each log takes up 1 square, and they can't be stacked on top of each other. But if you have bins, you can stack all of your items. Well, like, I don't know, I think it's like 20 items It depends on the weight of the items. You can stack a certain weight of items into a single bin in a single space, and that really saves space. And distance your dwarves have to travel, which is very important for an efficient fortress. So let's go ahead and make bins. A caps lock. A bin. In is for bin. So we'll make 3 buckets, 3 barrels, 3 bins, and we'll let them hop to that. Okay. And I'm going to pause the video until they have finished mining out this area. Okay, so they've finished mining out these spaces. And also some other things have happened in just a few minutes while it was paused. It turned into springtime, so now we can see all the grass, and it turns out that I had built this stockpile right on top of this frozen pond, which when it unfreezes will sort of dump all my stuff to the pond, so I'm going to try and prevent that by moving my furniture stockpile. This, however, will be pretty easy to do. We're just going to make one down here in one of these rooms. So you press P for piles and U for furniture storage. And since I tend to use a lot of furniture, so I'm going to make one entire room of furniture stockpile. And another one I don't have that I need is food. I need a large food stockpile. We'll make that one in here. We need a large finished goods stockpile right here. And what's another stockpile we might need? And I'll leave this last one blank for now. But that should make my dwarves very busy, especially for the food. See, they're moving all these barrels and placing them wherever they want. You think it'd be most efficient, place them by the door. But no. Oh. And this Craftsdwarf has taken a barrel and he's running up here. Oh, he's fishing. Let's make a fisher workshop. A fishery cleaning place. So you press B for build, workshop, Z. Wait, no, that's kitchen. I. Is it I? If you can't remember, or you don't even know which letter to press, you can use plus and minus to scroll up and down the list. So we got fishery is H. Yeah, that sounds right. H. And I'm going to build it by my carpenter dwarf's workshop. So now, when who's my fisherman? It's the siege engineer, Alexandra. When Alexandra has a moment, she will run over here. Oh, this is a brook. This is not a river. Brooks are different from rivers because dwarves and other creatures can walk across them without swimming. It's just very shallow water. A river, however, if your dwarves jumped into the river, they would likely drown because they don't have any swimming skills. Rivers are very good defense against, like if goblins spawned on the map of half of the map to the left of the river, it would be impossible for them to get across. But since it's a brook, they can cross anytime they want, so not so good. Also discovered that this is a waterfall over here, but it's frozen right now. See how it went down a bunch of sea levels. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. There's a waterfall right there. That's cool. Alright. Looks like they've finished that. But you notice they haven't taken the furniture out of our doomed to drown stockpile and put it in our new stockpile. So we have to delete our old stockpile. So press P for piles, X for delete, and then we're going to draw a box over our pre-existing box. And now that pile is deleted, and they will move all of our stuff that is no longer in a stockpile into our new stockpile. Oh dang. Oh, what happened? Did you see that? The ice melted, and these bins fell into the water. A barrel, a bin, and some hamster remains. Whoops. That was just a little bit too late right there, but oh well. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and see down here in our furniture stockpile, we now have some barrels and some bins. Well, no bins, because I think all our bins are right now in the lake. So I'm gonna create 6 or I think that's 7 bins, and Choppa will get onto that. And I'm gonna keep designating. So next, we're going to designate some bedrooms, I think. This is going to be the bedroom level. Wait, no. This is going to be the dining hall level, because it's close to the surface. Close-ish to the surface. Okay. And you can make the dining hall as interesting as you want. Dining hall is basically the place where your dwarves are going to be hanging out most of the time. So it's good to make it fancy. So, what was that? What am I thinking? I'm thinking, let's make an interesting design. Alright, let's go ahead and mine this part out, and then see what it looks like. It takes longer to mine stone. See how much longer it takes these guys? It's like 3 or 4 times the amount of time it takes to mine dirt, but when you mine stone, you leave behind little boulders. So this rock is gabbro. And for use in the older versions of Dwarf Fortress, if you had like legendary miners, nearly every block you mined would leave behind a boulder. Now they've changed it to where boulders are a little more rare, so you have to mine more to get more boulders. I guess I think it's good because now you don't have to look at all these ugly boulders. Your dwarves will pick them up quicker. But it's also you can also hide them, and I'll show you how to do that later. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make this a perfect square right here. Perfect square, go. And now I'm gonna designate our dining room. Okay. Okay. And what I'm doing right here is I'm just making an equal distance sort of little hubs to like base my little. It's going to be a sort of a circular diamond shaped dining room, so that's sort of what I'm trying to do here. And the way to do it is you kind of have to just fill it in. So actually, let's just try and make it circular. Wait, no, that's a terrible idea since I've never done that before. Alright, so you notice I have something designated. I don't want to designate anymore, so I press X, and that removes designation, and then you just drag it over. So I'm just going to do it the good old-fashioned way, i.e. make a bunch of gradually decreasing rows. We'll see how that looks. Yeah, it looks okay. Okay, I'm just gonna keep on doing this. And, I mean, this is purely aesthetic. You don't have to do this. You could make your dining room a square, which would be fine. Your dwarves would not care. You could even make it the most weird, meandering cave possible. But if you made this room a dining room, your dwarves would literally not be able to tell the difference. Alright, that's sort of an interesting looking shape. So, we're going to let him carve it out. And while we're doing that, I'm going to create a masonry workshop so we can create some tables and chairs for our dining room. So build W workshop, masonry workshop, M. And let's go ahead and build it on the surface. Workshops are really easy to move and build, so it doesn't really matter where you build them, as long as they're relatively close to the materials. And thanks to this up-down staircase, this mason's dwarf is only like probably like 10 steps away from wherever the stone he's looking for is. So let's go ahead and tell him to create 5 chairs by pressing A and then C for chair. They're called thrones, but they're the same as chairs. A, C, A, C, A, C, A, C, D, C. So 5 thrones, and we need 5 tables to go with our thrones. Because the thing is, you can only have 10 tasks in your workshop at one time. So press A, T for table, A, T for table, 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 table. If I try to do it again, nothing happens. So now, what's his face? Blockers. We'll get started on that. See, he's dragging a stone, and he's going to turn it into a table, or a chair first. And we'll see as soon as he's finished. See somebody? There we go. It was moved right here. It's a gabbro throne, because it's made out of gabbro. Gabbro. Yep. Okay, and you see how long... Well, depending on the weight of an object, dwarves will take longer hauling it. Stone is very heavy, and so it will take a dwarf longer, or it'll take him longer to move in moving a heavy stone. So a good way to fix that, so dwarves can move top speed all the time, is to build some wheelbarrows. And those can be made out of wood. So you just press A, and I can't remember the key for wheelbarrow, so you just, oh, it doesn't have one. So wheelbarrow, you just press minus and plus until you scroll into it, and you press enter. And then if you press A again, it'll already be selecting it. So let's just make 3. And my dude Choppa will make some wheelbarrows. And you can assign wheelbarrows to stockpiles, especially if they're heavy things like rocks or dead mega beasts or something. It'll be useful for hauling things around. Okay. And we're probably starting to run out of booze. We have 80 drinks left. And I access this menu by pressing Z. Z is for stocks. Z accesses the stocks menu, and the stocks menu tells you all sorts of things. It allows you to see how many dwarves you have, how many of each type. More importantly, it shows you your stores, like food stores, meat, fish, and plants. And that's an acceptable amount, I guess, for right now. If I had like more than 7 dwarves, it would be not good. It would mean I'm really low, but for the amount of food I'm consuming, it's pretty good. And then up at the top, you can use your left and right keys to scroll between these different sub-menus in the stock screen. Like animals, you can tell which animal, you can see all of your animals that belong to your fortress, what animals you own, what animals are available for butchering. In the kitchen, you can decide which foods that you have available are okay to be cooked and brewed. Stones, sort of the same thing. You can sort of decide which stones are used for what. And then stocks is basically a list of everything your fortress owns. Of course, the list is not very accurate because you don't have a dwarf whose job it is to look at all the stuff and see how much stuff we actually have. It's not like some games where you're able to automatically see because it exists. Here in Dwarf Fortress, you have to have a dwarf, a bookkeeper, whose only job it is to figure out how much stuff you have. Oh, what are those? Crow man and crow woman. Those crow people are annoying. Half animal, half men people are annoying. They will distract your dwarves from tasks. They will steal food, and here they come. Any cat is fighting. Huh. Let's see if they bother me. They probably will. And you know, probably you've been looking at the bottom of my screen and you see that I've been striking all these different minerals like tetrahedrite and almandines. Almandines, these are gems. This symbol is for gems. And this symbol is for metal, or raw ore. Tetrahedrite is raw ore. And tetrahedrite is good because I think that's what you get copper or iron from. Definitely copper if you smelt it. Copper and other metals, I think. So that is a very good find. Copper is very useful. I mean, it's not the most powerful metal, but it's definitely it's one of the metals you can make weapons and pickaxes out of. I mean, you can't make like a pickaxe out of electrum or something. That you just can't. I don't think you can in vanilla version. So, okay, I need to start making some drinks. So let's build a still. And it doesn't really matter where we build it. I mean, I'm trying kind of throwing everything haphazardly together here. But so let's just continue with that theme. So press B for build, W for workshops, and L for still. Okay, and we're just going to place it right here and use a gabbro. And any dwarf who has the brewing labor enabled will come and build it. So that will be, I think it's Alexandra. If you press C to zoom on creation, it will zoom to the location of the dwarf you have highlighted in the unit screen. And it's basically like the view. It's the view button, is what it is. And this guy is our competent brewer, but she is asleep right now, so as soon as she wakes up, she will go and build our workshop. Okay, it looks like our dining room is done. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hide all of these rocks because I don't like them. So you press D for designations. What's the next one? B for building item properties. So D, designation B, building item properties, and then H, lowercase h, for hide items / buildings. And then you just drag a big area, and all the items that are highlighted will no longer be visible outside of the hide items screen. So when I press escape, now it's all cleaned up. Like that much better. Let's start building some tables and chairs in our dining room. This is our dining room. Build T for table. I'm going to build my tables first. Table here, press enter twice, table here. Now we need some chairs next to our tables so our dwarves can sit. And I'll make some on the other end. But we only have 2 tables left, so I guess it will be uneven. Oh, chair is for C. C is for chairs. So you press B for build, C for chairs. But I don't have any chairs left, so yeah. And see, they're gonna run from my furniture stockpile, grab things, and build them. And built objects are not the same as like created objects. Like a mason dwarf created the table, and it could be moved to a furniture stockpile. But now that it's built, it is no longer able to be moved around until it has been unbuilt or destroyed. Okay? So that's sort of the difference between built items and other items. Now we need to make it a dining room so our dwarves know that they can eat here. It's not just a random table sitting in a room. So to do that, press Q for query, and we're going to choose one of the dining room tables, and you're going to press R for make dining room, and we're going to press plus until it fills up the entire room. Hopefully we have enough space. Yes, we do. There is a limit to how big you can make your dining room, and you just press enter for done, and we're going to make this a meeting hall. Yes. So by pressing H, we can toggle meeting hall. What meeting hall means is that if there's any dwarf with no job, he will come and hang out in this room. So that's good. Also, you can make a dining room for each one of these tables, and you can assign the dining room to an individual dwarf, and that will make the dwarf happy. Having a dwarf having his own dining room table or spot in the dining room makes him happy. So that's something to consider as you go forward. Okay, we're going to need some more tables and chairs, so I'm going to go ahead and make some more tables. That's 5 tables and 5 chairs. And it doesn't matter that I can't see these rocks. My dwarves can still see them, and they will grab them and move them around. Okay. And as you can see, all my dwarves who have nothing to do are gathered in here, and also all my animals who have nothing to do have gathered in here too, like my yak. But that is not good. Yaks need to stay outside where they can eat grass, otherwise yaks will starve. So I'm going to briefly explain zones before I close up this video. Okay, so you press I for zones, and we're going to create a pasture zone for our yak. And we're going to do that the same way we do everything else, by dragging a box. And now there are all these different options we can set our zone. It can be a garbage dump, a pen pasture, a meeting area, a hospital, area training. It can be a bunch of different stuff. I'm not really going to go into what each one does, but what we want is pen pasture, which is in... Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Okay, so now that we created the zone, if you press I again and hover your cursor over your pen over your zone, you can choose what kind of zone it is. Like, you can toggle N to make it a pen pasture, or G to make it a garbage dump, F to make it a fishing zone, all that sorts of stuff. But we want pen and pasture. Pen and pasture is good. You need to place it on grass. This way, grass will grow. Your bison or yaks or donkeys or horses or whatever can eat grass and not starve to death like they would in a stone cave. Okay, so it's a pen pasture because I have that selected. Then you press capital N, Shift N, and now you can select the specific animals we want to be in this pasture. So we want our yak bull and our yak cow. And now any dwarf with the animal hauling labor assigned will grab the yak and place him in the zone. See, they just did that right there. And now the animals won't leave the zone unless they are threatened or attacked or go insane. But they'll stay there happily munching on grass. Okay, we're looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Sorry we didn't get a lot done, but lots of explaining. This is a complicated game. See you guys later.